I see. Hold on. I see the records that they got right now, so I'm completely switching up the vibes of what.
Okay. Damn, I can't even listen to the earlier stuff to just like.
So no, well, the funny thing was, I know I did this with Wemby sometimes, but also on another pod I would do. My boy John Chidley Hill would always say the lost tapes, man. If anyone ever got a hold of the lost tapes before we hit record, woo. But fellas, lots going on. Summertime's here.
Is there a lot going on?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot going down because the sun's shining. I want to ask you guys a few things, okay? You guys are questioning whether things are going on. So the things that are going on, home run derby, Vladdy won. You guys don't care, right?
Don't care. I'm at the age where all-star games and all-star festivities mean nothing. Nothing at all. And the worst part about the All-Star game, and I've been saying this for a while, is it's so dumb that the All-Star game is in the middle of the season. All-Star games should be either at the beginning or the end of the season because we're rewarding players for half of a good season. Shouldn't we be rewarding players for a complete season and then hold the All-Star game either before as a preview to the season or a nice cap after a championship game?
Isn't that what like
that's a take, Webby? That is a take.
I'm here to fix things. You know what I'm saying?
Like, isn't that what awards are for?
Awards.
I don't know. The Pro Bowl's at the end of the year. No one
the only thing I care. The only thing I care less about the All-Star game then is postseason awards. Do you know what I care about? The Lady Bing Trophy? I don't give a shit, man.
Do you even like sports?
You don't care that a bunch of writers that don't
game.
watch the games actually decide on players' legacies? That bothers you? Because that bothers me.
Tones, you know what I did like today? I did like getting that email about the Suicide League.
Oh, baby.
The Execution League. I was fired up when I saw that email come through.
Hey, guys, it's fantasy season. I'm ready. Let's go.
I'm getting ready. See, that's where my head is at. I'm in preparation for sports.
So there's actual things going on. Vladito putting in work, winning the home run derby. There's summer league. We're seeing Wemby here. Wemby versus Britney Spears. There's like things going on here, and y'all are talking about fantasy football in July.
Not just fantasy football, Sheldon. It's a guillotine league, which means your head gets chopped off. Right? This is life or death,
dude.
Shell,
Guillotine League. Guillotine League has my heart palpitating just thinking about the stress of having your head on the block.
So
look how uninterested Timmy looks.
I'm just gonna say this about Vladdy, okay?
Timmy's hoping guys come in there and fix his windows again at this very moment.
Yeah, where are your
There's
buddies?
nothing worse than hearing about other people's fantasy leagues and like their
I
teams.
disagree. I want to hear about everybody's fantasy team.
No,
I love it.
Really,
man.
yeah, really. I want to know what you're dealing with, Timmy, so I can give you a little bit of advice, maybe some insight on your draft picks.
Hold on, I'm gonna back up Timmy here and especially in this instance, we're not actually even talking about your fantasy team yet. We're talking about your maybe fantasy team in terms of guys.
Not even. We're talking about what
team.
Position we're drafting in. That's what got released today.
That's insane.
I'm third.
I think Tones has like 4 or 3. I had one last.
I'm 3.
The
Bring
commissioner,
me Jamar Chase.
The commissioner that we all know, a beauty, Joe Bukanovic. Last year, we had a celebrity. He got a cameo done to announce the picks, and it was he's like a play-by-play guy for an independent wrestling, and he's from Philly, and I got the number 1 overall pick last season. It was so good. It was awesome. This year it was just like a regular announcement with pictures from our social media post, and the commissioner for my pick put Jokic as a child with the man boobs, which was great. And Tones had the guy from Goodfellas in the hanging in the ice with the ice pick in his back, hanging up in the cooler. It was good shit.
Which I didn't know how to take. I'm like, is he about to whack me? What the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, so that's our boring Guillotine League. That's what I'm excited about. Summer League was good though. You want to dive into Summer League?
Well, the one thing I want to say about Vladdy is like no matter what happens, to end the season, like if he has a poor second half or a really, really good second half, people are gonna blame the home run derby win. And I think that part is amazing. Right? Like, think about it. Either way this goes, it'll be like, he had a great second half. You know what? That home run derby really turned things around.
Did it.
Really turned things around. Big win for Vladdy.
Tones,
Literally
like the home run derby, Tones?
Did I like it? I didn't watch it. I bet on it. I'm at the cottage, so I didn't fucking watch it.
Where'd you hear just trying to bet the home run derby?
He was so pumped about it.
Watch it. That's amazing. My guy's like, yo, I like the home run derby. Didn't watch
I like the home run derby. I didn't watch it. I didn't have access to it.
Little sprinkle.
You know what I did watch? You know what I watched instead?
What?
The Bear. I'm in.
Ooh.
Oh,
okay, hold on.
I'm
We
in.
gotta let's wait. Save that for like in a couple weeks when there's really nothing to talk about, and it's available in Canada. Let's wait.
What's your quick review? What
I'm 6 episodes in to season 1.
Season 1.
Absolutely hooked. It's exactly my thing. It's
you're on
very
season
fast
1.
paced.
So
it's very quick witted. There's a lot of really funny jabs at each other. It's kind of like not as aggressive as how I grew up, but me and my friends like talk to each other. Not quite that insanely, but like we were just like you sometimes wondered how the fuck we were friends because we just got after each other so much. So it's got my name written all over it. Absolutely love it. I think it's
How
great.
many of you guys have worked in restaurants before, whether back of house or front of house?
I did a little bit. I did for like a year.
Really? Yeah. I worked at a really, really, really nice restaurant in Halifax for 2 years. As a prep cook, like lowest you could get, like peeling carrots, chopping onions, budding shrimp and shit like that.
What kind of restaurant was it?
It was a seafood restaurant. It was like a really fine dining seafood restaurant called the Five Fishermen in Halifax. It's still there. And what I realized about working in a restaurant, and I realized this very quickly, is that you will never meet a group of wretched, degenerate, freak show, drug and alcohol addicts.
Wow.
Like you would in a restaurant. So I started there not really knowing. And then by about week 1, I was like, we're in. We are rolling right now. And so for 2 years, I was in this, and it is such an insular community. So like they take you in, and then you can see how people stay in this industry for decades almost, because it is so much like a family. And that's what I liked about the Bear. And like you say, Tone, it is like they show how it is like a family, for better or for worse, right? Like the love is there, but it's also like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing? Like, and that's what I really liked about the Bear. The other thing too is the short run time. I mean, we've been talking about HBO shows and Sopranos. You guys are on the Sopranos, these 1 hour things. What I like about the Bear is how much they can pack in to a condensed episode.
Yeah, their half-hour shows feel like 15 minutes. Like it's over in so quickly. And that's why, like, that's a show where, and we'll get into it when it actually comes around season 2, but like the binge aspect of it, it's like such a quick binge because it's so fast-paced that even though you're watching half-hour episodes, it goes by so quickly. You can do a whole season in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Right?
And
or
that's what I did.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 for season 2.
Well, we got computer tones right here.
I just got
cottage tones again.
Cottage tones.
Cottage tones, Wi-Fi.
Cottage tones. Not watching the Derby. Are you sure the bets even went through on this weak ass Wi-Fi or what?
Right.
I sure hope not, because I took some else.
Are we back?
You didn't even bet on Vladdy, bro?
No, I bet on Julio. No value on Vladdy.
I think they fire you from Sportsnet if you do that. If you don't bet on Vladdy, I think they fire you from the SN.
I disagree.
I was saying, man, Vladdy took out
Can
Julio.
You guys see me? Can you guys hear me?
Jordan,
hello?
Man.
Yo, and Vladdy took out that kid in left field with the laser line drive.
Yo.
Good.
Yo.
Kids got to learn to catch, man. Kids got to learn to catch.
Take your eye off the ball. Get 2 hands up there if you need to.
That's
what I'm telling Ivy right now. 2 hands.
Keep your eye on the ball.
The other thing that
Vlad did that for
so what do you want to talk about?
Vlad did that for Fonzie, man. That's what I want to talk about.
Like Fonzie is in like what, Henry Winkler?
No,
Alfonso
Davies. Get your Googles up, Webby. You know what I'm talking about.
The soccer player.
Yes, the soccer player.
We're talking soccer?
No,
Why did he Do it for
Guys,
Alphonso Davies.
guys.
Explain it.
Timmy Higgs, can we catch these guys up?
We don't need to get into it. I think people know.
Get your Googles up. Get your Googles up.
We're not explaining.
There's a
this?
link.
I don't
No,
know. Tell me. I'm off
There's
the
a link
grid out
between
here, man.
Alphonso Davies and Julio Rodriguez.
Are they Eskimo brothers?
Listen.
Yes. Okay. So they're Eskimo brothers.
Summer League.
Summer League.
Hold on.
I want to ask you
our
guys
boy.
something, okay? I want to ask you guys something about Summer League because, first off, the NBA has created this event out of nothing, right? Like this is like, they're doing all these like Vegas, residences now where you got U2 down there, you got Usher down there, and now you got the NBA there in the summer. Britney's obviously down there, which is where we're going with this, because not only has the NBA taken over, but you have Wemby, who's the next big thing in the league, but also getting an introduction to not only NBA life, but to US tabloid life. This is one of the most insane stories ever, because to me, I was like, we are officially in the Matrix. I tried to avoid the video, avoid the headlines, and every 2 seconds, all you could see was Victor Wembanyama's security attacks Britney Spears. Of course, the TMZ doing the most with the headlines. But when you guys saw that story, I got to be honest with you guys, my first reaction was, this isn't real. Where are we right now? What are we doing? Like, what? This doesn't make sense. Team Britney or Team Wemby?
Well, forever Team Britney. Forever Team Britney. No question about it. The goddess.
You can do no wrong.
Okay. The one who walked so everybody else could run. Yes, we love Beyonce here. Yes, we love Taylor Swift here. But they are only possible because of the queen, because of Britney Spears. However.
Hold on. I got to stop you here. You cannot say that Beyonce is only possible because of Britney Spears. That is a disrespectful comment.
Timmy, come get your man.
That is a disrespectful comment. We got to put this clip right here. Hold on, this clip right here. Yeah, Timmy, we're gonna highlight you here.
Come get your man.
Cut up this clip right now. Put that on the internet. That y'all are claiming that Beyonce is Beyonce because of what Britney Spears did. That is an insane comment.
Walked so Beyonce could run.
Do not count me in on this.
Walked so Beyonce could run. That's it. Now we could, if you wanted,
but I'm going to let that one slide. Go ahead. Let's not get bogged down.
If you wanted to get in real music history, we could go all the way back. We could get Supremes, Diana Ross. But I'm just saying, modern times, Britney walked so the rest could run. Just saying.
She laid the groundwork, man. She faced the paparazzi head on. It was her against everyone.
Cut her hair off. Went through the trials and tribs.
So you're giving her credit because Beyonce didn't end up on drugs?
Yeah.
She had to go through all that.
This is so insane. This is fucking crazy. This is so insane.
It must be summer.
No, but 19 when Britney's like what, 97?
Yeah.
When Britney blow up, like 97, 98,
96, 97.
Let's find that date and then find out when Destiny's Child came out. Because
that was the best tweet. It was Britney's debut versus Wemby's debut, and then Wemby's just falling down.
the memes of Britney dunking on Wemby were like the internet at its best, right? And like, I just love the fact that Wemby is now trying to get acclimated, and this was his introduction. Like before he stepped on the floor, you have this whole scenario where Britney security is just like, did you guys see anything wrong with that, by the way? Like there's been this whole debate about like security was too hard, where I'm like, no, my guy's doing his job. He doesn't know that's Britney Spears. And even if he does know that's Britney Spears, his job is to protect Wemby at all costs.
And honestly, like
also truly, Britney, like act like you've been there before. I don't know. She ran up to him like a fucking, like, you're Britney Spears. This is how you know she's down in like the C list, because like
Beyonce's
would never running up to any.
Beyonce would never. Beyonce would never.
Get this child off this podcast. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
Yo, Beyonce is so famous that people know.
Irrelevant.
Beyonce is so famous that people know her security guard, Julius. Okay. That's how famous Beyonce is, right?
You don't want to get into this because Beyonce, first of all, Beyonce, go. No doubt about it. I'm not saying that she's not the GOAT.
Be careful.
I'm not saying that she's not the GOAT.
I think you're putting some doubt on it.
Started in a group.
Oh.
So did Britney, Mickey Mouse Club.
No.
Hold on. Was it a group? Was it even a
Destiny
group?
I believe we talked about another pod favorite, Kelly Rowland. So let's not denigrate Miss Rowland's fine name on this pod. Thank you very much. I'm just saying, Beyonce's GOAT. Beyonce's GOAT. I put Beyonce above T Swift, 100%. Okay,
I didn't realize that was even a conversation.
I'm sure it is.
Not
on this pod. Not on this pod.
Stop it.
Not on this pod. We're Beyonce,
especially after Taylor's fucking weird dance moves that's been making the rounds.
Well, was it Luke Kuechly? She was like
Luke Kuechly.
Pre-snap, she's Luke Kuechly, and she's doing this.
It was so good. Did you guys see the video?
You guys saw the Michael Jackson tweet, right?
Luke Kuechly.
I did see
the Luke Kuechly's incredible.
I gotta pull it up.
Yeah, you gotta pull that up.
Yeah, you guys talk about it.
The Michael Jackson.
Seeing that Taylor Swift video.
No,
did you see the Michael Jackson tweet?
He's in the cottage.
Hello.
I did see it.
How was Michael Jackson tweeting? He's been dead for 15 years.
No. There was so Taylor Swift fans, as we all know, are like straight up insane.
Yes.
Someone tweeted put Taylor Swift up against Michael Jackson in dancing, and Taylor Swift wins with that video there. And I think it was dead serious. Like, I thought it was a joke. I'm like, haha, that's actually a funny fucking troll. But then the follow-up tweet was like a serious thing, and I'm just like, you call me young, Webby? That's fucking crazy. Like, to think like some 14-year-old is like, nah, Michael Jackson is a worse dancer than Taylor Swift is an insane take.
Very insane take. And like just everything that we do now with the recency bias, which will lead us into a conversation later on. I did put a couple things in the notes, by the way, one including the 50 greatest hip hop groups of all time, which I know Webby's going to be all over. And also the Ringer had the top shows of 2023 so far. So we'll get there in a bit. Okay. But this Taylor Swift video, like
lateral movement.
There's one that's a little longer that shows just before where she's like trying to really like break it down, and it's like, just chill out, T Swifty. Like
Beyonce's smoking on that T Swift pack for sure.
Yeah, like she got to just like sit on the stool, play your guitar or something, Taylor, and do your thing.
Taylor Swift goes for like 4 hours straight of just bangers.
T Swift.
What is this argument right now? What's happening?
Wait, are you trying to say that T Swizzle is above Beyonce?
100%.
I don't want that heat on this pod.
You think?
Just bangers for 4 hours? I don't think Beyonce can go 4 hours.
I'm sorry, guys. So far on this pod, we are like not even 20 minutes into this pod, and so far I've heard that Britney Spears walked so that Beyonce could run, and now Taylor Swift can beat Beyonce in a versus. Yeah, that's an insane claim.
That is an insane claim. That is like when they brought out Dipset and the Locks.
Come on, man.
Before we end like the Wemby Britney like chapter of this pod, like I wanted to ask you guys, like, what do you have like a favorite celebrity encounter or like athlete
personally
encounter? Yeah, like
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah, what's the best one you have?
I'll tell you a story. So I must have been 16, 17, and I drove. My dad and I came up from Philly to Toronto to go to the race, to go to the Toronto Indy. My dad's cousin had these crazy tickets. We had pit access, the whole deal for the whole weekend. It was amazing, right? Like, I don't know if you've ever been to the Toronto Indy, but if you can go because it's very cool. So we were there in the pits or whatever, like hanging out. And then there's a golf cart that's coming towards us, and Bret the Hitman Hart is sitting shotgun, and they're getting closer and closer and closer to us. And my dad and I are like, that's Bret the fucking Hitman Hart. Drives by me, and I give him the backhand to the bicep, right at the top of the arm, as he's going by like that, and Bret whips his head around and stares me down as they go by us. And my old man goes, you were on your own. You were on your own.
Why did you give him a backhand chop?
I just said, hey, Hitman, bang. I should have gone, woo. styling, profiling, jet flying. That's the first celebrity encounter that came
So
to my
did he
head.
put you in the sharpshooter or what?
Yo, Hitman can't take this down. Are you kidding me? Bro. You're
That's
talking
funny.
Listen,
That's funny. I don't know. I think my encounters probably mostly had to do with like sports guys. Like I'll always rep Melo because I interviewed Melo once and asked him like who would be in his. This was before they picked the teams. Like before it was a thing where you picked the teams for the All-Star game. So I asked him who he would pick, and he said he'd pick me on his team. He's like, "I'll pick you on my team." I'm like, "I can hit it outside 3." And Melo was like, "All right."
Nice.
But also this was around. So we did the All-Star game in LA, and I've never been like, I don't get nervous like interviewing people, right? And like, you know,
This
we've
is-
done LeBron, we've done KD, we've done a
you were on
bunch
the
of
red
different people.
carpet, right? This is when you were on the red carpet.
It was
right?
like a
Yeah, I remember
T-Mobile
that.
like magenta carpet or something,
Yeah.
right?
I remember that.
So I'm never really nervous, right? LeBron, whoever, like at one point, LeBron stopped me in my tracks because he recognized the score mic. And actually, this might be a funny story. I don't know if I've told this story on a pod before. Webby knows this guy, Ryan Stratton.
Oh yeah,
was our camera guy, and he is just like
a Newfoundlander, a beauty.
Yes, for our Canadian viewers, he is like your stereotypical like out east dude, like likes his beers. He's just a fun guy, like good peoples.
Yeah.
But on this day, we're on the red carpet, and I give specific instructions. Say, Strats, listen. As soon as you see anyone that's famous start walking down the red carpet, we're at the end. I'm like, just start rolling. And then I'm going to check before I start asking questions, but just start rolling just in case, because I'm going to need the B-roll anyways. He's like, yep, got it. Good. So LeBron comes walking down the red carpet. Beside me is Frank Iasola from MSG. This is like right around the time when LeBron's in Miami at this point. So this is when like he's playing the heel. Everyone's like, LeBron quit on the league. He quit on Cleveland, bro. Like he's the villain. So LeBron comes walking down the red carpet. He stops in front of Frankie Ice and he's like, nah, I'm not talking to these guys. Points to me. He's like, the score? Yeah, I like the score. I'm going to talk to you guys. And I'm like, okay. So, and then I like snap out of it, start doing the interview.
LeBron, why are you the most hated man in the NBA?
We're doing like a fashion thing, like who's the best dressed guy in the league. Like it was good. You know, he gave me like legit real answers. He joked around. I was like, who's best dressed? He's like, you know, our crew, me, D Wade, we're the best dressed, blah, blah. Super funny, whatever. Leaves. I turn around, I'm like, yo, Strats, we got LeBron. That's dope, man. This might be like the best score promo ever. Like that's got to go in the history books as the best score promo ever. He's like,
I know where this
sorry,
is going.
man, I wasn't rolling. I'm like, what?
No.
Son of a bitch.
I'm like, how are you not rolling? He's like, I don't know, man. He's like, I got the interview. Like once you started the interview, like I was rolling, but like, I don't know. I'm like, but it's LeBron. Like you didn't realize LeBron like coming down the red carpet. And he's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry. But we're in like the heat of it, right? So it's almost like, to use a thing from The Bear, which isn't really a spoiler. It was almost a thing where you had to like gather yourself in the moment and do the, you know, we'll settle down. We'll talk about it later. But let's keep going because here comes whoever else down the red carpet, right? But with that, I'll tell you two more things from that. One, Sierra comes down the red carpet.
Okay.
And
1-2 step.
She stops by. She has her PR person. Exactly. PR person stops in front of us and PR person's like, she's like sort of vetting who everyone is. So I'm like, yeah, we're from Canada, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah, cool. So she tells Sierra, she's like, oh, this is Sheldon from Canada. She's like, oh, hi, very nice to meet you. And I put my hand out and I'm like, I touched her hand and I don't know what kind of like Carrie lotion Sierra's messing with, but she had the softest hands I have ever felt in my life. Like I almost melted on the spot. I was like, nice to meet you too. Yeah, so All-Star game in LA. Why is it so cool to have the All-Star game in LA? And she's like, oh, well, you know, I like LA a lot too. I also like Canada. I'm like, oh my God, Sierra. Like it was just softest hands by far. I don't know what kind of Carrie lotion. No, like I almost melted. That's how like soft and like wonderful her hand was when she shook my hand. And I was like, Sierra, man, that's the thing. But the only time I actually got nervous was when I thought Jay-Z and Beyonce were supposed to be walking down that red carpet. because they were on the list of celebs going to the All-Star game. So before I left the hotel, like literally, this is a true story. Strike me down if this is not the truth. I'm about to leave the hotel room and I go to the door and I stop. I went, wait a second. If Jay-Z actually stops in front of me, what am I going to ask him? And I froze. And I sat down on the bed and had to gather myself for like 30 seconds to be like, if I actually meet Jay-Z in like 20 minutes, what am I going to say to him? I have to tell him like, he's the God MC. Like, he's like the inspiration to like the majority of my life. Like, I'm a child of Hova the God. Like, what am I gonna say to him? Like, for real? And I just sit there and like compose myself, no word of a lie, for like 30 seconds and just be like, okay, let's go. Before I left, true story. What ends up happening? Jay-Z and Beyonce, big time. They don't even walk the red carpet. They show up late and just go
land on the roof in a helicopter
and just walk to their seats to sit down courtside. So
Joe, was Britney there?
Nope.
Interesting. Anyway, moving on. I wouldn't know what know what to ask Jay-Z anyway. I would have been with you on that. Like if it's like fucking I don't know. That's a tough
I'm like
one.
I have to tell him that he's like the major influence in my life and like raised a generation. Like if you're of a certain age, which I think this segues into the 50 hip hop groups of all time, because so much of this stuff is about like age groups, right? And like the term that I know the kids say all the time, or maybe the old heads are saying it all the time, but if you were outside, and if you were outside when some of these things were going on, you're impacted in a different way. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yep.
And Jay, for people our age group, or my age group, I know I'm a little older than you guys, that's a moment in time. It's a moment in time. But, Webby, I wanted this for you. The 50 hip-hop groups of all time. Now,
is this Billboard that I'm looking at?
It is Billboard.
Is that who put it out? Okay.
Yeah. Do you have it up in front of you?
I got it up.
Here's a question. Here's a question that I want to ask you, right? You know, there's a lot of interesting things there. There's a lot of interesting things there.
Just seeing this for the first time.
But really, the big topic of discussion is, well, actually, I mean, there's a lot of topics of discussion, but I think the biggest one is probably the ranking of the Migos at number 11. Okay. This is a hot button issue. At 11. Okay. This is a hot button issue.
How about Salt and Pepper in the top 10? Listen, I know, guys, I get it. But Salt and Pepper in the top 10 ahead of the Roots.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's also about like female impact and like a female group, and you know what they were doing, like they were going at the dudes. You know what I mean? Like it was very much like a counterculture before counterculture was a thing. I'm not saying that they deserve to be in the top 10. I'm just giving the counter argument to why are they there, right? But there's a lot of funny things on this list, like because you go from like Yin Yang Twins at 46 to Pete Rock and CL Smooth at 45. Like I think it's just such a funny thing to go through the list and you see some of the names that end up being just in front or just behind the other. You know what I mean, Webby? And I know there's things like the big timers at 38.
Yeah, like, it's like the Hot Boys up ahead of EPMD. Like, I know I'm old.
But you were outside for Bling Bling.
Ahead of the Hot Boys.
I definitely agree with you. And I'm saying that as someone who was there
100%.
with Lil Wayne and Turk and Bling Bling.
Well, ride a 2G lack on dubs. Come on, man. Of course. But I mean, EPMD is like an actual group. The Hot Boys seems more of a collection of dudes, right?
Correct. So like someone like Gangstar, right? Like how's Gangstar 29?
Like I'm literally.
That's kind of disrespectful. I feel like that's disrespectful. And yeah, you're right. The Hot Boys being one spot ahead of EPMD doesn't make sense. And then the Diplomats at 24, which, hey, I know we stand for the Diplomats. Killa Cam making a comeback right now. Dipset, that was a moment in time. That's definitely a moment in time. if you were outside when Dipset Anthem came out, and I mean outside, like you're in the club
For
of
sure.
age, able to partake, we'll say, it's a different kind of love right there. But what is your relationship with said Migos, Webby? That's really what I want to know.
I think that, I mean, over the last, what do we say, 10, 15 years, I mean, that is probably the premier hip hop group. I mean, they came up as a group of guys. It's not, to me, it's not a collective. Something
Yeah.
like Dipset, something like
Or
Hot
G
Boy.
Unit.
These
Like
three
G
guys
Unit at
came-
19 makes no
Yeah,
sense, right?
No.
G Unit's
They're-
not a
For
group.
me, those aren't groups. They're collectives, right? But that's why I don't mind Migos being in the top 20. 11 might be a little high, but they're a group, right? Like they came up together. That's how we knew them. Now, obviously, with the unfortunate passing of Takeoff, right? We still got Offset, and I just call him Migos. I always forget what his fucking name is. Quavo. So obviously they kind of are going in their own directions, but for their first, the way that we were introduced to them was a group. And I think that should kind of be the
because that's an impact.
What did we say? The qualification of this is that we're introduced to these people as a group, which is why I don't think Dipset or Hot Boys or even G Unit should be there, because we were introduced to these guys kind of as individuals before they formed these collectives. But
So what
the other
about
thing is like De La is 9. De La should be higher than 9.
Before we get up there, like Beastie Boys at 16, I feel like that's somewhat disrespectful.
Fair.
Well, no.
That's I mean, but who are you gonna?
So let's hold on. Let's go down. Let's go down. Right. So 14, you got the Fugees. 13, you got Mobb Deep, which is another. If you were outside, Mobb Deep, that's a moment in time. 12, the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. 11, Migos, and then as we get into the top 10, you got the Roots at number 10, De La Soul at number 9, Salt and Pepper at number 8.
Should be higher than me.
Eric B and Rakim at 7. At number 6, you got Public Enemy. Number 5, you got Run DMC. Number 4, you got A Tribe Called Quest. Number 3, NWA. Number 2, the Wu-Tang Clan. And number 1, Outkast. So for me, I feel like Outkast, I get it. Outkast, like that's a group. Yes, they did have massive
incredible
success.
run of albums.
Yeah, but like even separately, they both had like dope albums and shit. But I think overall, it's still, the group Outkast, no matter what they come out with this album solo, you're still always thinking of them as the group. No?
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 Stacks is 3 Stacks. Right? Exactly. I don't know, man. I feel like Migos is one of those things where I understand it, but I feel like it's more of a testament to the rest of the game. Meaning, like, I don't think the rest of the game is that good.
The one that I kind of have a bit of a problem with, not a problem, but I think it might disqualify them from the list, is Eric B and Rakim.
Okay.
Because isn't that just a DJ and an MC?
Interesting take.
And then
I still think that's a group.
The other one for me is I would probably switch Wu-Tang and Outkast based solely on the fact that there are more members of Wu-Tang than 2 guys like Outkast. Like that is a true group, whereas Outkast is a duo. But that could just be me. I think you should get more points, as it were, for having a bigger group, especially one as influential and revered as Wu-Tang has been,
So is Wu-Tang your number 1?
Wu-Tang would be my number 1.
So I want to switch though and ask you guys. I know Timmy and Tones, like you guys are obviously a little younger than us, not far off, but like you guys are younger than us. Like, what's your viewpoint on this in terms of, because obviously what you guys were outside for is going to be different than what we were outside for. And I mean that in terms of like, when Versace dropped, like I just remember hearing that song over and over again before I actually knew what it was. I was just like, what is this? And it clearly sounded different. It clearly had like a vibe. It had the club turned, like it was still a jam. But like I still can't say that Migos is like in my prime listening. Like I'm more Clips, I'm more the Locks, like that's more my wheelhouse, you know, on top of Woo,
Gangstar.
obviously. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I was never a Migos guy, to be honest. As you guys were talking, I was like, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm in the back of my head. I'm like, there's 50 rap groups. Holy shit. It's a lot. You know what I mean? So I was thinking like, oh, maybe by default, you know, they get up there in terms of like popularity and stuff. But I don't know. I don't have problems with this top 10. Like, I'm a big Outkast guy. I like Outkast a lot. See what's great. NWA I felt like maybe is pretty high considering they only had like one album, but I mean, I guess their influence.
I've got to say too, one thing I want to mention too is Outkast. Like I actually went to, there was a couple years ago, Timmy, you might have went to this. You might have been there at OVO. Outkast did the first day at OVO, like maybe, I don't know how long that would have been, whenever they were last on tour. And I can't lie, the pandemic has completely screwed up my timeline in terms of how long ago something was. But Outkast doing the first day at OVO, I remember going to that, and like I'm an Outkast fan. I know their songs. Like I thought I had a good, you know, like, yeah, a good solid base. And then they just kept doing more and more hits that I was like, oh, I forgot about this. Oh, I forgot about this. And it was just one of the best hip hop shows I've ever been to. And I mean, Bun B came out for International Players Anthem, and I was just like, oh my God, how did I forget about this track? And it was just such an incredible show. But the thing I loved about it the most was it made me love Toronto so much, because the other part of it was that you could look around and you saw every, like, however you would want to divide up a different demographic of person in Toronto. And that was like all around me. You know, like I had like 4 guys with turbans beside me. They're rocking out. I had like, you know, I had the black girls behind me. They're rocking out, 2-stepping. I had this white dude beside me, glasses, nerdy, and he's just like bubbling his girl like hard the whole show, rapping every single line. Like pick out a demographic of people, and that's what you just looked across. And that's how Outkast and Toronto, like it was just such a like beautiful vibe. Like there was seriously a moment where I had to stop and just take it in, because I was like, this is incredible right now, because it was just a jam. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue Outkast as number one.
That is the like that inclusive nature of Outkast, and that like like from white college girls to like real hood, like everybody loves Outkast. There's those tracks that you can like really get into. There's the stretches of albums that really speak to you. So for sure, and need a real need a real street stalker to walk a green mile. Like I love that International Players and smashed up the gray one, bought me a red.
No, the time I try to tell
Nelly and the St. Lunatics on this list. Where are they?
Is that more your speed there, Timmy? The St. Lunatics?
Yeah, the St. Lunatics.
The one for me, I mean, growing up, like when I was in high school, like I and my friends, we had like a definite like butting up against popular hip hop music. So I was very much like a backpacker. Like, so like, where's like Jedi Mind Tricks in here? You know, where's Jurassic 5? Where's some of the like more underground, like less popular groups that I think should be included on here? You know, if you're gonna put Eric B and Rakim, you know, 7L and Esoteric, you know, what about MF Doom's group before he got really popular? Where's KMD in here? You know,
Wemby getting into his backpacker bag right now.
It's like the discussion we had at work. It's like you're either like you like movies or you like films.
Or films.
Ooh. Yeah.
See, I like both. I like both. I like to appreciate both. You know, there are good movies and there are good films, and then the really cool ones are the ones where they kind of come together, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I
We can
totally
get
get
into
it.
art anytime. We can talk about art and philosophy anytime you want.
I just love it because
It's summertime, baby. We got what are we going to talk about? Marquise Noel throwing those whip around passes.
Listen, man, hold on. I just want to be on the record as saying two things. One, I did state that people with Marquise Noel is going to have a bigger impact on the Raptors than your boy Grady, and the fact that have you seen Keontae George? By the way, have you been seeing Keontae George? By the way,
I knew that was gonna get brought up after our conversation. It's summer league. Okay, it's summer league.
I'd rather have the dude putting
and I
in
think
work
I think
in
it was
summer league
Russillo
than not putting in work.
I think Russillo was the one who put it best about summer league. He's like, if something backs up my thoughts in summer league, then yeah, of course, this is great. If it goes against my thoughts, it's just summer league. So that's where I'm at now. Like, Grady Dick not having the best. Hey, it's just summer league. Keontae George goes nuts. Hey, it's just summer league.
I feel like we should.
But yes, Marquise Noel. You know that I've been in the Marquise Noel business since early March, late February.
I can't wait for Cameron to sit courtside.
That's my guy.
I'm with you, Webby. I'm with you.
Yeah. Bringing Harlem and Toronto together.
I guess we should actually talk about the fact, I know we kind of glossed over this, but Pascal's probably about to be traded, and you guys keep telling me Willie's about to leave, but none of those things have happened yet. Which one happens first?
Willie's probably dealt first, I would imagine. Oh, go ahead, Webby.
I'd say Pascal. Yeah, okay. I think Pascal probably goes first. That's just my thought.
Are you okay with saying goodbye to the Pascal Siakam era and entering the OG Scotty Barnes Toronto Raptors era?
Grady Dick era. Yeah.
As long as what you get is good.
It won't be. It won't be.
Yeah, it won't be.
It won't be, eh?
They screwed themselves.
I'm hoping it's like we talked about, maybe Harden.
Stop talking about stop trying to pass off James Harden. Okay? Stop trying to pass off James Harden. Get out of here, man.
The problem is that it won't be a good return, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, the names being highlighted right now, because even the last I saw was Indiana, and they're talking about Nembhard being the key piece coming back the other way.
That's not getting you Nembhard?
Yeah.
It's keeping me Nem soft, actually.
A Nembhard Grady Dick duo is just it writes itself. It writes itself.
Sheldon's,
look how upset Sheldon is right now.
No, I'm not upset.
I don't think you're ready for it.
No, do you know what it is? Every time I keep seeing, and Webby keeps saying it's Summer League, but every time I keep seeing Buffkins going to work in Summer League, Keontae George going to work in Summer League, and all I keep thinking is, y'all's really just wanted to make dick jokes. That's
no, yeah, that's not. Yes. I know that's not where I'm at. You know that's not where I'm at. I still think Grady's going to be a good pro. I really do. I'm holding it. I'm holding out because he really fits a need that I know we talked about drafting for need and that whole thing, but he really fills a role that the Raptors need to fill.
Okay. Well, Summer League.
Go on. Do you
Tom.
guys get kind of annoyed that any trade rumor the Raptors are involved in, there's always a Canadian player coming back?
Yeah.
Does that I don't know. Do you guys notice this too? I feel like every single time it's this team's interested in this guy. Oh, there's a Canadian. He's involved. Canadian. It's so weird to me. I don't know. Am I the only one noticing that?
Well, it's just such an easy thing to make up on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
You just throw it out there. People oh yeah, I could see that. Nembhard coming home. Yeah. I still
coming
see the
home.
Images
of
he's
LeBron.
Right. Yeah, I'm coming. You can see the package. I'm coming home. Coming home.
Give me a break.
Amazing. So then Willie. Hold on, Willie. This is a big deal. This is a massive, massive deal. And your boy DeBrincat there, Tones,
really fucked him. Really
does that play a role in this?
Management, right?
Explain to me how that plays a role into the Willie thing. Your boy DeBrincat being traded.
So basically, the worst place you want to be in any sport is trading a guy that the whole world knows you need to trade. basically the return for DeBrincat and the return for Willie will be comparable because they're kind of in the same tier of player. I think Willie's a little better and does a little bit more, whereas DeBrincat's just a pure sniper. No. Stop it, guys. Stop it.
A little better?
They are both the same role of player. They can't be your number one dude, but they are a valuable
they play the same role.
Piece.
One scores, the other doesn't.
Sorry, what? DeBrincat has 40-goal seasons, and he's 25 years old. I'm happy. I'm fine with him being off my team, but like, relax here. William Nylander is a very good player, and so is Alex DeBrincat. Let's not pretend like William Nylander is like a super higher tier above that other dude, man. He's not. I'm telling you, he's not.
Jones, the other difference is that one team drafted their player, and the other team spent a 7th overall pick to trade for this player that they then traded for less than a 7th overall pick.
I don't want to turn this into a sense thing because no one cares, but like I'm totally okay. Like I hate Dorian. I think Dorian's an absolute loser. I can't wait till he's gone. Okay. I'd rather my team take a big swing in a moment like that for the 7th overall pick. You're drafting an 18-year-old who nobody knows is going to be good or not. Nobody. To get a 2-time 40-goal scorer at 24 years old, yeah, that's a gamble I'm willing to take. Sure, it wasn't with an extension. That's fine. I didn't want to pay him $8 million because then the Sens turn into you guys, where it's a top-heavy roster in terms of salary, and you can't fill out the rest of the roster.
Stop acting as if you wouldn't want the Leafs roster to be your team that you cheered for.
No,
as if like the Leafs players are
scored 40 goals in his time in Ottawa.
No. Pause. I'd rather have Timmy Stützle being undervalued for the Stop.
Yeah,
Can I finish what I'm saying? Can I finish what I'm saying? Timmy Stützle had 90-something points last year, okay? What did Willie have? Pull it up.
I don't know. He was in the playoffs, though.
Don't make me do it. Pull
it up.
He was
on a playoff team.
Don't make me do it. Pull it up.
I didn't even know Timmy Stützle was still in the league. I mean, he's playing for basically a AAA midget team.
And there's my point.
And
there's exactly my point. Nylander had 87 points last year. I would rather have Timmy Stützle at $8.2 million than Nylander at 10 because you can actually build a team around one versus the other. Not saying it's impossible.
Guess what?
And I'm not shitting on Willie. I love Willie.
Guess what? The Leafs ain't going to pay him $10 million. I'll tell you that.
Trying to build a winner, and you guys haven't won dick with all your fucking fancy ass players and all your high salaries. So like, hey, maybe learn a thing or two from the Tampas of the world and the other for the fucking Blackhawks of the world back in the day.
It's like the lotto tones.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is
you got to be in it to win it.
Correct. We'll be there. I'm not worried.
Hold on. You really think Timmy Stützle is someone you can build around?
110%. Are you fucking serious? He's put up numbers in a group like that only guys like Matthews have done, that McDavid has done. You guys need to educate yourselves. I'm talking to nobody here. This is nonsense.
Can I just say that after weeks and weeks,
yourselves.
Can I just say after weeks and weeks of this pod of you guys trolling me, it's been so good to just get you back, Tones. Just have you fall into my trap.
Listen, no, that's fine. If I was better prepared for the Timmy Stützle conversation, I would just be dropping fucking facts on you right now. But I'm cottage mode, and my fucking brain is half working. So you know what? I'll revisit this, okay?
No,
we're talking about William Nylander's potential trade. Everybody knows that they have to trade him because unless he's taking less and less money. But even regardless of that stuff, if you're trading a guy that needs a contract extension, it just lowers the value no matter what. So like it's a shitty position to be in. It's weird that it hasn't happened yet. You're not even hearing rumors or teams linked.
Hold on.
So I think there is maybe a possibility that he comes back, but like I don't know, man. I think it's looking less and less likely.
Unless you find a dance partner who needs what you're selling. So the big rumor here is that it's here to Calgary because they have a couple of defensemen that they need to get off the books. That could line up with what the Leafs need. It could be a need situation. And if a Hanifin comes back to Toronto, a Tanev comes back to Toronto, that could be very beneficial for Toronto.
Until it's done, I'm still holding out hope that Willie and Austin both resign. until it's done.
The Austin
It's gonna
stuff is
hold out
weird.
hope.
Like, we have not heard anything on that, and
It's
it's
because him and Willie are trying
fishy.
to decide, can they take less? Can they both figure out a way where they both take less? That's what they're trying to decide. And they're both
Newsflash,
probably
they will not.
side-eyeing Mitch. They're both side-eyeing Mitch right now.
Mitch's dad, yeah.
Oh, man. I got to say this, though, fellas, of all the time. This is what, episode 12 of this pod? I don't know if we've had a pod that had the insane takes of Britney versus Beyonce, Taylor Swift
Stutzel.
versus Beyonce, and then Stutzel and DeBrincat versus
Stutzla.
Stutzel.
Get it right.
Stutzel is like what comes with your I don't even know, some German brat or something. Get a little Stutzel on top. Delicious.
You said some German broad for a second there, and I was like,
Easy.
yeah, don't get fined.
Don't get fined.
This has been incredible, fellas. I just got to say this. And Timmy,
Good
I'm
chat.
just hoping that you carefully construct a Beyonce video that we can put out on social media and have all of your mentions be flamed for all of the slander that you threw at Beyonce.
I believe I called Beyonce the GOAT. I just said that Britney walked so everyone else could run.
He said it again. I'm just saying. That's
I'll stand
at
by
A
it.
Webster 84.
Come and get me. Come and get me.
Come and get
Oh,
me.
we didn't even talk about like Threads and Blue Sky and all this.
Are you on Threads?
You know what? I dropped all of them. I'm just back on Twitter.
Old TweetDeck's back, so I'm back. As
I'm
long as I
back.
don't have to pay for it.
I don't care.
Hold on. So
About
TweetDeck being
Elon
gone
or
lasted for how long?
No, it wasn't TweetDeck being gone. It was TweetDeck being ass when they improved something that is borderline perfect, just and made it significantly worse. Just fucking leave it alone. And then they're like, "Hey, you're gonna pay for this worse product." Like, no, I'm not paying for a fucking website that should be free and that has been free for the last 15 years. I've been here since day one. Fuck out of here,
Yeah,
Elon.
it's not cool. Not cool at all. I haven't gone on Threads, but I heard that if you do go on, it's because it's linked with your Instagram.
Yeah,
You automatically get
yeah.
all of the people that you follow on Instagram on Threads, which at its core, I don't really think that makes sense because I feel like, how do I phrase this?
I'm not
Let me-
following these people on Instagram for their thoughts. Is that
Correct.
where you're going with that?
Or it might be a different kind of thoughts that
Thoughts?
you're following on Instagram.